there it is. Welcome in, everyone. I hope you're having a good week so far. I don't know what's up with the ads in the beginning. They used to be done before I started, but now no. Get to the right thing. I suppose that helps. Let's see. We should have the next two, so 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, and then 22. It is I'm normally not on this early, but this week is a wonky and week between fantasy getting out of school early and parent teacher conferences and my doctor's appointment. Oh, you want to get down? Okay. So I figured if I didn't stream this morning, I would probably wind up canceling, you know, later if I said I was going to do it later than I normally do. So I just went with early. And also, I didn't really know what I wanted to do today. So I put diamond dots, but I have coasters or the ornaments or I don't know, things. We can just play video games. I really don't know what I want to do today. Okay, this one doesn't has no instructions on the back, so it doesn't come apart and become part of something else. But it looks almost like a
We have always
pumpkin-y
lurked among you.
scarecrow. Welcome in, Cass. Thank you for the worky lurky. I would say, yeah, almost like a pumpkin scarecrow guy. I hope your day at work is not too stressful. I appreciate the worky lurkies. Sorry, I'm like, how do I want this camera? There we go. Make sure we're in focus. Or at least in the area I'm attempting to build. Let's see. So, this is what it says for number 1. So it wants this. Then this. On all even, like, no twisty. Top one slightly different from bottom one. Kind of business. I guess that's as far as it's going. And then it wants that in the middle. It feels like it's on there, as much as it can go on there. And Alex got first. Welcome in, Alex. Hopefully your day is going well. Also, are you feeling better? Children are like petri dishes and give you everything they come in contact with. It's horrible. Oh no, that's no Gouda. I hope you get better soon. I know it sucks being sick. Especially when, like, it doesn't matter that you're sick, you still have to do all the things. Have you gotten meds from the doctor? I know sometimes you get the meds from the doctor and then it's like the saying it gets worse before it gets better is so very true. You get like the meds start releasing things, and then you're more snotty than you were before the meds. Okay, the other side went on, but this side is. Oh, there we go. Wanting to give me issues. Good morning by the Brick Book. Hopefully, you are having a good day as well. Yeah, try like over the counter stuff. I mean, even with that, it's true. You start taking the meds, and then, things start loosening up, or, like attempting to clear, and sometimes it has to get worse before it gets better, which is awful. But morning, it just started so short, 7 a.m. Oh, that's so early. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock for me, and I'm not normally on this early, but life. Now I'm like, did I put those on pieces on the right place? Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so this is supposed to be front, back, left, right. Yes, today, this week, my husband is out of town, and the girl child has parent-teacher conferences, so she gets out early Tuesday and Thursday, and then I have an appointment this afternoon. So I was like, if I don't stream first thing in the morning, and I tell that lie that we tell to all tell ourselves, I'll just do it later, I will indeed cancel, because I know myself. Like, there will be no stream later, no matter what I say. So I was like, nope, you're already up from taking her to school. Just do the stream in the morning. Fingers crossed the appointment later goes well and they don't tell me some stupid thing like, we didn't see anything on your scan. Stuff. I'm going with this as like a pumpkin scarecrow. I don't know what it really is, but that's what I'm going with. I put that on upside down. It almost looks like sunglasses, kind of. Hello, Kitty Kitterson. You want in the pouch? Come on. In the homemade pouch. Get your legs down in there. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. What do you think, kitty? What do you guys think? I think it's like a pumpkin-y scarecrow with like sunglasses on. A wild Sableye. Oh, I forgot to let me click. Start a Stream Raiders. Start battle. I don't know what my quests are for them, so. What does it say? Vampires. Vampires and necromancers. Vampire. Let's check the story. Don't forget to claim your talismans. No one caught the Sableye. Just gotten rid of Joe. You're like, please God, somebody take him just for a moment so I can have some peace of mind. And I know it sounds horrible, but as a mom, I understand. Like, I love you, but please go away. That is very much how I feel sometimes. Like, I love you a lot, but could you please just go away for a minute? Kitty, you make it hard to do the block. The building, sir. Ma'am. That one didn't want to rip. I know. Can you lay in here? Are you not wrapped tidy? Hey, no biting. If you're gonna bite, you're gonna get down. Yeah, I've said it to my kids too. Like, I love you, I really do, but I'm gonna need you to go away. Like, please, just anything. Hide in the bathroom to eat. You're like, I want candy, but I'm gonna have to hide in the bathroom to eat it because otherwise you're gonna demand I share it. It looks like almost like a little treasury chest type thing, and it later becomes part of the house. Yeah, it's very much I love you, but I would really prefer it if you just gave me 5 minutes of peace and went away. My oldest used to, I don't know where he like picked it up, but he would go, I don't love you. And I'm like, well, I do love you, but I don't like you right now. And he was like, you're not allowed to say that. Yes, I am. I can love you all day long and not like you at the same time. And that is what's happening right now. Like, I love you, but I don't like you very much. Okay, one side is a 4 block and the other is a 3 and then a 1 block. So, to figure out which one is which. There we go. Okay, number 2 is these. Welcome in, Laura. Hope your morning at work is going well. right? Like, especially, like, if they're having a hard day, then inevitably you're having a hard day, you know, because you're having to deal with them during their hard day. And so you're like, listen, uh, and many times, you know, they get in that mode, especially like as toddlers, where like they're just so angry and frustrated because they're not able to convey what they want to you for whatever reason, or like they asked for something and you said no, like, I'm not going to let you eat the dog food. And then there's like a total mental breakdown because you wouldn't let them play with the tampon or eat the dog food, or they ask for something and you're like, I don't even know what you're asking for. Like, I don't think it exists. And then there's like this whole breakdown and you're like, listen, I'm going to need you to go to your room and have just a moment so I don't lose my mind and wind up in jail. Like, or the really confusing thing, they want chicken nuggets, so you give them chicken nuggets and then they're mad that you gave them chicken nuggets. And it starts at toddlers, but I think it continues for a long time because they have all these emotions and feelings that they don't really know how to process. And oh, you want me to throw it? Okay. Listen here, kitty dog. Go get your toy. This is going to be for the next 10 minutes, so I'm sorry, guys. The cat is stuck in a dog, or it's really a dog stuck in a cat's body, and she's going to keep bringing me that toy and jumping up on the desk for me to throw it. Because apparently we're. Oh, you're going to make a liar out of me? Yeah, okay. You're going to actually just set it down on the ground, not jump at me. Oh, I was right. Come on, you want it? Look. Yes, I was right. Yeah. I mean, it starts when they're toddlers, but I think it really does like carry on for quite some time. They don't know how to really. Sorry. Apparently, taking taking the camera with her was part of the plan there. Okay, you gotta make the. Oh, there we go. They did not want to go together at first. Okay, all the pieces left. Honestly, I think even as teenagers it happens. Because let's face it, as adults we have feelings that we don't know how to process or can't process in the moment, you know? So it's no wonder they do. I think it's kind of in the middle. That. And then we stick that on here. And ta-da! We have like, I don't know, like a present, a little treasure box. And then let me find. There. Hello, madam. Where did it go? Did you lose it? Joe just struggles to verbalize what he said. Yeah, that too. It's like I said, especially as toddlers, they know what they want, but they don't know how to convey to you what they want, or like the right word, or a lot of stuff like that. He's doing a lot better with talking, but sometimes going down, he just can't get out. Right. Yep. Okay, this one I'm just gonna stick in the back because it doesn't become part of anything, and then this one is numbers 20. Oh no. Kitty. Okay. Give me a moment. Kitty is like trying to climb something. And it's probably a rack of Legos. What are you doing, madam? Oh. Madam. Apparently my attempt to throw the toy last time was a little too successful. And it wound up on the rack. And so she was trying to get it. Note to self, be better at throwing. Like, we taught the kids a little bit of like baby sign language, like all done and more. Eat, thank you, milk, just little things so that it made some of it easier. I mean, they would say milk for any drink though. Like, it didn't matter what kind of drink they wanted, it was always milk. Because that was really like the only sign. We'll go get it. You know, we taught them a few here and there. So that made it a slightly easier, but it was still... Madam. Sorry, guys. Apparently Kitty is in kitty mode. She's making all kinds of mess. Are you gonna hand it to me? It's underneath you. At your tail, silly. So that helped a little bit, but I mean, it's still like hard to... I mean, had I tried, I probably could have taught them a lot more signs, and then it would have been even easier, but really, there's like some limit. Yeah, we just did, like I said, like very basic ones, like more, all done, milk, thank you, food, and maybe they weren't like exactly what, you know, was really baby sign language, but that's what we did. I don't... Oh, you did bring it to me. That's what we... You know what I mean? That's what we know those signs meant. And they may not be like I said, dead set or super correct. But it worked. You know, to a degree. And it helped minimize certain things. But there were still like temper tantrums. And especially because they were really close. They're only 20 months apart. So I had Fantasy in January, and that December, at the opposite end of the year, I was pregnant with Boy Wonder. And then in September, he was born. So that they're super close. Madam, I am trying to stream. So she was 2 by the time he was born, or shortly after he was born. Hello. Because, yeah. Yeah, she was almost 2 when he was born. So, we did a lot of, like, I called them conveyor belt kids. Because when one was done, the other wasn't far behind. So it was like a conveyor belt. Like, when one is done, then the next, and the next. And, you know, they kind of did all the things together. And because Fantasy was very small for her age, a lot of people thought they were twins for a long time. Sorry, guys. Apparently, this is what we're doing this morning. Playing fetch with the cat. Yeah, a lot of people thought they were twins. For a while, they did wear, like, the same shoe size and the same size clothing. And then she would move up, and he would stay back. And then, you know, like, I don't know. It was very weird, but they did a lot of things together. And usually, where you could find one, the other wasn't very far. And that's still the case, even as teenagers, where one is, the other isn't very far away. And like we would go out to eat, and they would almost always get the same thing. Well, what did you do with it? I cannot throw it if you didn't bring it to me. Yeah, where is it? Everybody's getting cat butt. Yes, I would like to do that diamond dot, but I can't with you keep jumping up here. And there's no way to really stop her from jumping up here. But I got my trusty diamond dot out. Oh, you've given up? Time to lay down. My trusty diamond art here. To do today, like I said, I really don't know. We just do a little bit of everything today, or nothing. I know, like, teaching them to talk seems like a great thing, and then you're like, oh my god, please shut up. Actually, before I start this one, I'm going to finish the last coaster in this set. Okay. Looks like 6s.
We have always lurked among you.
Oh, thank you for the lurky lurk. Hopefully your day is going well, Crazy. And I feel like some lessons like are always like ongoing. Like time management and having to do your chores even if you don't want to. Certain things feel like they're forever. And they're really, I guess, more like life lessons that you're just continually trying to teach them. And at the same time, combat that you're not always doing them. Like, you're trying to teach them that, you do your laundry, put it in the wash machine, then put it in the dryer, then, put it away, whether that's folding it or hanging it or whatever, while at the same time going, that laundry basket has indeed been there with that same load in it for 3 days. Don't listen to me. Do as I say, not as I do. I'm trying to make you better than me. Ours is the cups. Every time I turn around, there's cups. And I'm like, listen, dude. You gotta take the cups to the sink. One day, there won't be anybody to pick up after you. It's just gonna be you. So, when you're done with the cup, even if you're gonna use it again, take it to the kitchen. And if you're not gonna use it again, get it in the sink. Not near the sink, in the sink. it's raising other human beings is interesting. I think for a long time, people only talked about like the really, I don't know, I don't want to say good, but like nobody talked about the truly awful parts of parenting because we should keep that a secret, you know. This way, everybody else can be as ill prepared as we were. And I think it's better to talk about how these things are going to happen. I guess that's not necessarily true. Like, your kid may not do them, but my kid did, and like 10 other kids I knew did. So maybe be prepared, have a plan. This is the last coaster I have from this set. Then I have some puppy coasters. Or another set that I got last year for Christmas. Looks like I got all the sixes. Oh, you found it and brought it to me this time? Okay. I can't throw for you if you won't let me get it. Oh. Well, I threw it that time, but it just went behind me. Can you get it, kitty? She'll figure it out. I swear this is a dog trapped in a cat's body. She is. Oh, you did get it. No, don't put your kitty paw on my diamond dot. There's definitely bound to be hairs in it now. She stuck her paw right on it. You're the one who jumped weird, kitty. Go get it. I threw it on the ground. No, go get it. Yeah, the flying kitty. She just like comes out of nowhere. She does it like all the time. In fact, she can actually jump on the kitchen counters, which thankfully she doesn't do a lot. But if you have something up there that she really wants, sometimes she'll just like fly out of nowhere and like land. But you don't enjoy like the flying kitty that comes out of nowhere, Alex? She's crazy. She just comes flying into screen, into the view. Have you ever seen the video where the husky is like getting up on the bed and he's like doing his circle thing to lay down and his tail touches him and it's like he's forgotten he had a tail and he like freaks out and he yells and he barks at his tail? She does something similar. She doesn't like bark, like meow or screech or anything, but she'll be playing and then her tail will touch her and she'll like jump up and like look around and then like go to attack it. And you're like, dude, it's your tail. It's always been there. And it has touched you numerous times. I'm telling you, pets and kids, not that different. You're constantly feeding them. As you know, they want you to play with them. You're cleaning up their poop. They complain. Children and pets, not that different. Your lungs are like, no, stop it. We can't get enough air. Hello. Oh, you decided to come that way now? So our desk, like I have my sewing desk on the opposite side of me, like facing. And then Crazy's desk is right next to me. So she'll come up at me like all different directions. True. But also, I never co-slept with my kids, and this cat will come up to the top of the covers and like nudge you and nudge you and nudge you until you lift it up and let her in. So there's that. I did not co-sleep with my children, mainly because I move around a lot in my sleep, and I was afraid I would like smother them. Plus, I don't like my space encroached on while I sleep, and kids are excellent at that. So I never co-slept when they were babies or toddlers. Boy Wonder had a bassinet type thing right next to the bed. Some people do. Some people co-sleep and then their kids are 4 and 5 and they won't sleep in their own beds, and then now you're forced co-sleeping even if you don't want to because they can't sleep any other way. But a lot of people really believe in the co-sleeping thing. It was not my jam. Yeah, probably. So I didn't take my plate out right away. I had tuna fish for lunch yesterday, like the pouches, and she was like sticking her whole head in the pouch. Yeah, would you knock over, kitty? So the brand of pet food we get her is called Reveal. Like we did all the researching. It's supposed to be one of the better. You know, it was rated pretty high by this website we found. It's 5 vets, and they try out pet food, cat litter, all kinds of stuff. But anyway, it was rated pretty high on their site, and they don't get any promotions from like the companies, so you don't feel, you know what I mean? They're not being bought off to say the food is good. But they sell, you know, the wet food, dry food, but they also sell snacks, which are essentially like whole pieces of salmon in this, or tuna in this like vacuum sealed thing. And so her birthday is December 1st, and she'll be a year old. So I'm gonna get her a couple pouches for treat time. I heard the stream raiders. Let me figure out where she's moved my mouse to, with all her jumping up. We can get all that in the bucket, in the thing. Here goes nothing. 3 to 11. I am flying though, so that may give us an advantage. Depending on the type of bad guys they are. They look like fishes, don't they? They're fishes. Ooh, we're gonna do it, Beer Bear. We're gonna win. We're gonna win. What's that weird green thing on my head? No, madam. None of that is for you. As much as you think it is. Madam, really? We'll try the middle. If we lose, we just try again. Okay. I have a lot of meat, so I'm not worried about using it. Let's go out and collect that. Ma'am, really? Those Pokemon cards? Not for you. As much as you'd like them to be for you. Listen, do you want to put wings on? I'll put your devil wings on, because that's how you're acting this morning. Madam. Come here. Come here, kitty. She's got these, so they're devil wings on one side and angel wings on the other. Definitely not an angel wing morning. Plus, maybe she'll stop jumping up because she does this, like, melty thing. Where she's like, I can't move. Help. I'll make you a shopping cart. She also has a jacket. And she can be a Target shopping cart. She has a sweater too. It says Nap Champ on it. You want to come here? Come here. No? She's like, I know what you're gonna do. She took off the other way. She's like, no thanks. You're gonna put that on me. Yeah, you keep messing about. I'm gonna put it on you, whether you like it or not. silly Knigget. Stop. She is in a mood this morning. Aren't you usually napping on the back of Boy Wonder's chair while he does schoolwork? Go do that, cat. Madam, please. Here, look. It's wing time. Hey, be nice. Right? Like, you want to be on stream all the time. She is the devil wing kitty. Look. See? If you would just be nice, you wouldn't have to go through this. What's this? What's this? Okay, maybe you'll stop jumping up now. I'll probably eventually on YouTube, when I transfer that, get some comment about animal cruelty or something. I don't know. Maybe I've irritated her and now she'll just stop. Like, she'll just go sulk somewhere. She usually does, though. She usually just, like, pushes Boy Wonder essentially to, like, the edge of his chair where his butt is barely on it, and then sleeps behind him while he does his schoolwork. I don't know why this morning she is all over me and jumping at the up here on the desk. So her food I get from Chewy, and that way it's just delivered to the house, right? Like, one less thing I have to worry about. It's set up to ship every month. I just have to go in and, like, change up the food, like how many things we need, etc. Yeah, I'm normally here at this time doing, like, my blog stuff and listening to Carrot while I do my morning work. Especially on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because I stream, so I have to get, like, all my adulty stuff done before that, you know. So the kids unload the dishwasher in the morning, and then I usually reload it around lunchtime, but, like, I get a load of laundry in. I sit at my computer, I do the emails, I check over Boy Wonder's schooling stuff for the day, and I do my blog stuff, and then, you know, I get ready to stream. So it's not new that I'm at my desk at this time. It's not normally like I'm sitting on the couch and she would normally be like sitting next to me at this time. Yeah, no. She's nothing. I mean, Crazy's gone this week, but it's not like it's the first time he's been gone since we've got her. He's been gone for like a week here or there several times. So I don't think it's that either. And she got her morning wet food, and Fantasy cleaned her litter box before she went to school, so everything's kind of like it normally is. It's nothing really different. Oh my god, but speaking of that, I heard this kind of like funny story. This guy, he posted it on Reddit, not in like the MIA holes or anything, but just as like a funny story to share. So they got this dog, and I don't know what him and his wife do for work, but I guess they took some time off when they first got the dog, both of them, you know, to help the dog get used to their house and used to them and things like that. And he said the first day they both went back to work, when they came home, there was maybe, it could be because I'm not normally talking during this time. I'm usually just sitting here. The first day he came home from work, or they came home from work, there was a shoe on the bed. And he was like, that's weird. And then it was like that every day. Like the dog thought putting the shoe on the bed is what brought them home, or they came home because there was a shoe on the bed. He goes, anyway, my wife had to go on a business trip for work, and this is the first one she's gone on since we've had the dog. He goes, I came home the first day, and there was the one shoe on the bed, like always. He goes, I came home the next day, and there were 3 shoes on the bed, because he came home, but not his wife. He goes, the third day I came home, every pair of shoes, boot, whatever we owned in the house was on the bed. Like, she thought she needed to put more things on the bed to get her to come home. I thought that it was just a cute little story. Okay. Oh, I missed a few 8s right there. Dang it. Oh, it's okay. Right? Like, it was just a cute little story. The dog's like, this is how I get my people to come home. I pay the shoe tax to the bed. A Mareep is loose in chat. It doesn't have the little pumpkins with it, though, so I don't think it's a special Mareep. yeah, I really had no plan for today, so if anybody has anything in mind, feel free to share. I am just kind of doing whatever today. Okay. It looks like I just have to go back and do a couple eights. You mean this coaster? So these coasters make like a bigger picture. My big diamond art is the same one I've been working on for a while. It's just I haven't really been doing it off stream, and I haven't been doing it very much on stream. So, oh, the Pokemon. Okay, let me. Sometimes I had. Okay, that was the time. There we go. Yeah, I don't know why it does that sometimes, where it's like it's the same or it's clearly like one off. Like the Pokemon in the chat is saying it's one, but the Pokemon on screen is like one behind, so it's really like the last Pokemon. I don't know why it does it, but I do know that if I just like hide it and make it come back, like reappear, that it fixes itself. So, but I will double check the next time one pops up to make sure that it did fix itself. Kind of like it resets. Okay, there's only a few C's. Like 3, literally. Oh, so close to only getting 3. And then an extra one. That's alright, I think there's a really 4, so it'll work out. Flip over. Yeah, the rest. Oh, nope, there's 2 more C's. Yeah, like, I don't know why it does it, but I do know that usually doing the, like, hide and reappear thing resets it, so... But like I said, I will double check when the next Pokemon comes out. Come on, stick to the pen. Don't want to get more wax this late in the game, but that's alright. Chances are I'll use this pen again. So. Boy Wonder has standardized testing. He had one started at 8 this morning, and then one will start tomorrow, and he has one Thursday for like math, English, and writing. So he was done before I started streaming, even. With today's. But he's got a few assignments, but none of them were math, so he should be good. And I told him, if not, then I will help him, later. Usually he's pretty good, though. So last year, when they had parent-teacher conferences, essentially, because it was just freshmen in the school, so just ninth graders, all the teachers came to the cafeteria, and you just kind of wandered around the cafeteria, finding your students' teachers. And then, if nobody was there, you would sit down. If somebody was already talking to them, you just kind of wait, and then, form a line. Not too close, of course, because to give them privacy. So they didn't really say if it was going to be the same way or not. So Fantasy asked her teacher yesterday, and she was like, nope, you have to go to each classroom, which makes sense because there's many more teachers because there's 3 grades there, and they have lots of different opportunities for, learning different things like electives and such. And so I was like, ooh, upstairs, downstairs. What a horrible time for this to happen. But we're gonna make it work. But the teacher she was talking to was like, but that's only if you want to come. And she's like, I don't think you understand. You haven't met my mother yet, but it's not an option. Like, we are going to have parent-teacher conferences. She's like, my mom is going to come and she's going to talk to you about me. It doesn't matter if I want to come or not. That be went on a little trip. Do you guys have the equivalent of parent-teacher conferences? Like it usually happens twice a year, once in the beginning and once at near the end. And you just go and you talk to your kids' your kids' teachers and make sure that they're the teachers can tell you if they're having issues or not behaving in class. Kind of just like a check-in. I know when they were younger, and they just really had one teacher, it would be Like you would set a time with that teacher and then come at that time. And they would kind of show you the work they'd been doing, and then just tell you, like how your kid was in class and things like that. I just didn't know if you guys kind of had the same deal. I mean, of course, they can call or message you at any time and be like, listen, your kid is totally not listening. But, like it was kind of like a check-in. Oh, just a couple beats left. Okay, I think that's all of them. Yep. Okay. We don't have them. We call it Parents' Evening, though. I've yet to go to one because Joe has a. Yeah. I would do that too. So Addison has what they call an IEP in the States. Something educational plan. Essentially, because she has learning issues, and with her it's more like comprehension and like spelling issues. I have a meeting with them at the beginning and at the end of the year, and they talk, like, you go over specifically what is included in her plan and what accommodations she'll get because of her plan. Like, with her plan, with Fantasy's plan, she is allowed to use speech to text to take like notes, and she's given more time on tests, and like really big tests she's actually allowed to leave the room and go to a separate predetermined classroom where she can like no, like it's meant to be quieter, and they're given more time and less pressure, because you see other kids done, and then that adds pressure to be like, why am I not done? And then they start to push through things. So she goes to another room where there's less kids in it, and she doesn't have to worry about that. But they call it an IEP or 504 plan here in the States, but we have something similar. Right, yeah. Yeah, she has, and she didn't have that until she was in, like, 7th grade. Or 8th grade. Yeah, she got it. Like, I think they started doing things at like the end of her 7th grade year, and her the beginning of her 8th grade year, and then like figuring things out specifically, like doing testing and things like that. And then last year was like her first year with it like completely in place, if that makes sense. So these are supposed to go way out. If we do them a certain way, they're supposed to make a picture. If you know, if I remember how to do it. I think it's like this. I don't know exactly, but they're supposed to make a picture, like pieces of Starry Night. This is probably not correct, but you get the general idea. In fact, I can look it up real quick. Let me. I mean, it is an issue if they're not communicating with you the way they're supposed to about him. Then that's not good, because one, he's not getting what he needs. You know what I mean? Like, how can you make sure that you're helping him get things figured out at home or things like that, or like if he's having issues, you're helping him like navigate through those issues, and they're helping navigate him through those issues. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if they're not communicating, how can those things be happening? Okay, I was kind of right. These three do go like this. But then... no, not that one. This one. Like that. So it's supposed to be like Starry Night, but coasters. Where did my pen run away to? Here we go. I was going to try to put like center, you know, and then one, two, three, four. I'll go over it later with Sharpie, but I don't have a Sharpie on my desk, so. That way, I will attempt to have some kind of a plan. I've literally gotten them a book to write notes home in, so that he is definitely getting his needs met. I was told that once he got his ECHP, they would do it because he would get one-on-one time, which makes sense. He's had the for about 2 years now, and absolutely, yeah. I mean, them saying we'll do it when he gets it makes sense, because if he's going to have one-on-one time, then they will have like definite time. But that after it not happening, you know, even when he got the thing, it does make it seem like a brush off, like whatever. Almost like we don't have time for this, we're not doing it. But like if you gave them the stuff so that in theory, I say in theory because, you know, plans, grand plans, and then what actually happens from those plans are very different. Um, you know, he's still having issues, but they're not telling you what those issues are. How are you supposed to help correct those issues? You know? Because you can't help fix issues that you don't know about. So, like I said, I had no plan for today. I still have no plan for the day. So these are another set that I got last year, and they do the same thing, kind of go together and make a picture. Or I have puppy dog ones that I got recently, or I have the big diamond dot, or we can do something else. I don't know. I have no plan for the day. That is all I have nothing. Come on, box. Hold with me. So fantasy has, because I use Google Classroom a lot, and I was getting an email like every day. They refuse to let him use the stuff in his pencil case, which has recommended for him to use by occupational therapists. They make him use the stuff all the other kids are using, which isn't. You're right. Like those things are supposed to be met in his IEP or your one above the EHCP, as accommodations to his learning. Like they're supposed to be things he can use freely to make things easier for him or to make his learning experience more productive. If the way I'm saying that makes sense. So by them not following the plan, so is there like somebody outside of the school district that you could go to, like because he has special, the school gets special funding because of his EHCP. Is there like we have like a student liaison and things like that, like people we can go to talk that necessarily aren't teachers or like involved in the school hierarchy, if that makes sense? Because like the principal is like the teacher's boss, but if the principal doesn't care either, then it doesn't matter. Could you go to like a school district superintendent type deal? If that makes sense, like they are above the school itself. Like it's still school hierarchy, but they're like outside of that particular school. Or like some kind of education office where you can be like, hey, my son has this plan, and because of his plan, the teachers get, or the school gets funding, but they're not meeting his requirements. Right, yeah, something like that. Like we call them the school board or the superintendent of schools, but I imagine it's kind of the same thing. They're part of the schooling, but not like that particular school. They're kind of like above all the schools, at least in a certain area or things like that. Because, I mean, it is an issue. If he has a learning plan and they are not following his learning plan or granting him the accommodations he needs, it is a big deal. You know? Like, he needs these things to be productive in his education. And by them either ignoring them or refusing to do them, they are hindering his education. And especially if they're getting outside special funding because he goes to that school. Ooh, I forgot all about the battle. Sorry, guys. Oh, it looks like it's just me. So, here goes nothing. Oh, I said start battle, you silly Kinnigat. I have not checked in a fair bit if there are currently drops happening. It says Halloween dungeons. I don't have dungeons. Ooh, I once. Now it's necromancers. There we go. A sandy gas, and it has the little Halloweeny pumpkin thing with it. So maybe it said Pokemon class A and B may be in costume. So it may be a different Pokemon that you actually get. If I'm understanding that theory, that part correctly. Yeah, it just sucks. Even things that will help him, like saying he needs a PE kit on Tuesday, they won't tell me. How am I supposed to send it if I don't? They don't tell me he needs it. I know from seeing the pictures on the app that they have karate on Tuesdays, but I'm not going to send it in if they aren't going to actually tell me. Yeah, it's hard. Like, it's very little communication, and I get that teaching is weird. Like, or the process, I should say. Like, there's a lot more that goes on to it than like the average person realizes. But at the same time, if they set like an auto email or an auto notification, it'll go out every Monday to tell you that he needs his stuff on Tuesday, then they don't actually have to think about it. But also, they know that there are going to be students that need more than the average, and that is going to add onto their plate, but it is also part of their job. Like, you get several kids in a classroom and they all have different special needs education plans. That does add more to your plate, so to speak. But at the same time, that is essentially part of the job. I mean, teachers do not get paid enough by any means. But also, like, just because you're frustrated or you feel like it adds on and you just don't want to do it, it doesn't mean that you just get to not do it. I asked what days he needed his kit at the start of the year, and they just said he needed it on Thursday, so I've only been sending it on Thursday. Yeah. I mean, teaching is a crazy profession. I imagine the stress is a lot. And it's a mixed bag as a parent because I feel for them. Like, I know they've got to be dealing with some parents who are like, my kid is a genius and everything is your fault. You know, if he gets a bad grade, it's your fault. If he acts out in class, it's your fault. While at the same time, you have other parents who are advocating for their child, like, my child needs this. And they're not wanting to make your life any harder, but also their child has to come first. So it's a mixed bag. I feel for them, and I would never in a million years want to be a teacher. But having been a parent on the opposite side, where the teacher clearly was not up to par with, what was being needed from them, it's like, get your crap together. So fantasy math is included in her IEP as well. And at the end of last year, they were like, well, you were in an IEP math class this year, and you did wonderfully. You really understood everything, and it was great. Do you want to go back to a regular classroom? And she said no, which I didn't know about till later. And then they asked me at the IEP meeting, they're like, hey, she did really good in math, and we think she can just go back to a regular classroom and she'll be fine. And I was like, no, she's gonna stay in IEP math. And they're like, but we think she could totally be fine in a regular class. I was like, you want to take her from a classroom that literally has 8 kids in it to one that has 30 kids in it and think she's not going to get lost in the shuffle? You're not going to check in with her and make sure. And when her grades start to slip because she's not getting that smaller classroom experience to really take in and comprehend and ask questions, you're just going to go, oh, well, what do you want us to do about it? And I was like, no, thanks. She'll stay in the IEP math class. I was like, no, she will totally get lost in the shuffle. And I'm not interested in that. I don't know where I stopped going down the list for these colors, so I'm just kind of doing whatever and filling in. I think I had a plan to mark it in some way, but I didn't apparently, so we're just going with the flow. I don't think that Joe's teacher gets that he's different to the other kids. Like, he might be the same age on the outside. Yeah. I mean, we went through that in different contexts with both kids. So with Fantasy, when she started school, she started at 5 with everybody else. but she was only like the size of a 3-year-old. And so, like, her, like, fine motor skills and even gross motor skills were not the same as other kids. And then we kind of had the opposite end with Boy Wonder. He's always been kind of advanced for his age. And, you know, we would try to, like, explain it to the teachers, and they would look at me like, sure, we hear that all the time. Your kid's a genius, but he probably doesn't know how to add 2 plus 2. And then when he would start doing stuff, they'd be like, oh, he really is advanced. Yeah, he is. So he doesn't want, and the big thing is, well, he doesn't socialize with kids his age. Well, no, he doesn't. Not really. And they're like, well, we really need him to start, like, wanting to interact with the other kids. And I was like, how do you propose I do that? And they're like, well, you know, you just have to try. You have to talk to him. And I was like, okay, look at it from his point of view. He was in 5th grade at the time. I was like, he is a 5th grader. But he reads at, like, a high school level, and he does math 2 grade levels ahead. What do you want him to talk to them about? And they're like, well, that's not the point. He's just got to learn to interact. I was like, it is the whole point. He doesn't talk to them because he doesn't have anything to talk to them about. They're like, well, at reading time, he can tell them what book he's read. And I was like, okay. He's currently reading The Hunger Games. Right, it's completely fine that he is different, but then you have to give them the things that make it easier. Right, like... Right. Like, if he is... And, you know, like... Okay, if this class would be better, or if this tool, or... Like with fantasy, if speech to text makes it easier for him, or if being able to use this kind of pencil instead of that kind of pencil, or, you know, whatever it may be, flashcards, you know, all different kinds of things. Why is it an issue? You're being given funding by the government to ensure that he has the things he needs to accommodate his learning. But you're still not doing those things that he needs to accommodate his learning. You know, it's not like the school is having to be out of pocket for these things. If the type of accommodation he has allows the school to get, like, government funding, then they're not out of pocket, really. Anything they would have to provide for him because of the accommodation is covered with that money. Right, like, if he is supposed to have one, like, fantasy has something similar, so I think it's X amount of minutes per week she goes to this special teacher, and they talk about any issue she's having in any subject. So like if she's having trouble with the current English assignment, then that teacher helps her. If she's having trouble with the current science assignment, then the teacher helps her with that. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is. But it's X amount of minutes. So if he's supposed to have X amount of minutes of one-on-one time per day, per week, if he's supposed to have a teacher's aide with him all day, every day, then those are the things they need to be doing. You don't get to skip out on them. Okay, it's only one piece, so I will do this step and then flippy the page and get the next step. Okay, maybe they're not in this bag. Maybe they are. Oh yeah, they are. I just thought they were smaller pieces. That's the way they look. Okay. That is that break tax. I hope your class is going well, Crazy. I'm just gonna double check my phone to make sure I don't have any important messages. No, okay. But yeah, I mean, and it's the thing. I will be a Karen or a BITCH or whatever else you want to call it, if that's what I need to be to get the things done that need to be done. I will try to be nice. I will do all the things I can, but if I need to be that type of person to get you to give me, my child, my neighbor, my friend, the things that they are supposed to have, then I'll be that, and I won't even feel bad about it. Right? Like if you cannot feel comfortable that he is safe and being well taken care of, then that is a big thing that needs to be addressed. A key in a circle. What's this one? I probably didn't need to pour that many out, but yeah, definitely did need to dump that many out. But oh well. These are easy to pour back in. I did K, but I apparently missed one. Okay, I think I turned more light on. It was only supposed to be like level 1. Yep, the cat, I think, bumped it and turned more on. And then it reflects up and then makes it really hard to see what the symbol is there. With her crazy kitty jumps. She hasn't come back, so she's probably just mad at me about the wings. And I mean, you have to, it's frustrating when, they're always like, advocate for yourself, advocate for your child. And you do that, but there becomes a point when it feels like you're fighting like an uphill battle. Like everything you do, it doesn't matter, nothing changes. And that is a very frustrating feeling. Right, like it is. There's no worse feeling than doing literally everything you can and being told, "Oh well." Like what do you mean, "Oh well"? I have this plan in place. My child's supposed to have this, or I'm supposed to have this. And they're like, "Well, I mean, what do you want us to do about it?" Or "Are you sure you need that? Are you positive?" Yes, I freaking am. Is there another school relatively close by that he can go to? Like transfer to? Or would it be like quite a bit further? Really, little dot? You just came out of that school. There we go. We'll push you down harder this time. It would mean moving house. And I know you had been looking to move house. Have you found any that you liked? I know you looked at that one with the mystery toilet. And I don't know how easy / hard it is for you to move, because you have to wait till one is available. I know it was always, every time we moved, and we chose to live in base housing, it was always an interesting thing. Because I would take my letter and tell them I need an ADA house, and they'd be like, "Oh, okay, well, you can only have," like, no, I know what I'm entitled to. Yeah, that can be hard to get somebody to accept that type of housing. Or not the housing itself, but like the type of payment or whatever. Sorry, I got a tickle in my throat. I took a drink, but I don't know if that's gonna do anything. Because they don't have to accept that, do they? They can opt to not. I don't know how similar it is to what we have in the States called HUD. So, like, HUD can pay part of your rent or all of your rent, but the person still has to be willing to accept that you're, you know, kind of like that form of payment for the rent. And they can choose not to. Because it's got a little bit of a bad rap. Because it is housing assistance, sometimes the type of people who have it tend to like leave your place a wreck when they move out or just skip out or whatever. So, you know, like, not, of course, not everybody is that way, but, you know, it kind of gets a bad rap. And so then some people don't want to have that, or don't want to take that as like a form of payment for their housing, or accept somebody who's on that program. Yeah. Yeah, like, not everybody who needs it is that way, but like everything else, it only takes a few bad apples to spoil the whole thing, to, you know, cast everybody in that same kind of light. And again, it's one of those things that I can kind of see from both sides. Like, as the person who owns the property, if you have rented and accepted that program 10 times and burned 9 out of the 10, you're going to be leery to take it again. But from the opposite side, as the person, it's not fair to cast everybody with the same paintbrush, you know? Like, just because those other people did it does not mean this person will do it. But it's one of those things. I can see both sides, and neither is right or wrong, but it just makes it harder or unfair. Let's see. Move my mouse. The Mama Lynn has joined our battle here. We did it! Ooh, rubies. Let's see. Let's go to the store. So we got everything out of that bin and started a new one. Let's see. There's tickets and then scrolls. No skins. But we got all the monies now. Let's upgrade you. Ooh, we're gonna get another level 30. I don't want to re-specialize everything. Okay. Let's go to the back to the store and scrolls and buy all of those, and then we'll refresh and buy all of these. I keep buying them even when they're at the max level because at some point they reset and they will eventually allow you to unlock a second one of it or a third one of it. So we are very close to getting another vampire. Lunchtime, lunchtime. How is your class going? I wish that when you had like low volume of players, they would let you put out another thing as a captain. But I understand that's how the game goes. Almost forgot what symbol I was looking for. Like unsure of themselves, maybe new or doesn't like public speaking. What are you supposed to be learning this week? Seems like he feels pressured for time, so we aren't able to discuss things as much as we do with the first instructor. This is basically a project management class. Okay. Feels like he won't have enough time to tell you all the things. Maybe he'll get through everything and then just be like, oh, never mind, we do have time to talk. Or maybe he won't. Maybe he overplanned, like put too much information in the segment, not leaving enough discussion time. 83. Yeah, but by then most of us will have forgotten questions or discussion points. This block is scheduled to end at 3:30. Yeah, that's a long time. All I can suggest is to like jot things down that you might want to ask about, and then maybe at the end. And I see your brick text, but there's only a couple dots of this color, so let me. Here we go. Come on, park bag. Oh, there it is. That puts us done with that little segment. Okay. We did that. Okay, so we need two kind of translucent yellow bricks. They're kind of like see-through. And then 3 of these. One, okay. Okay. That was our tax. This is where we're at with it. Okay, we can keep doing this, or I can do one of the like Christmas things, or I have more coasters. Or we can play video games. I don't know. I'm whatever today. You can feel free to throw options out. Dreamlight Valley. Okay. Let me finish these dots, because there aren't many. I know Alex loves Dreamlight Valley. I have her sucked back in. I definitely did need that more poured out, but it's easier to just pour it instead of fighting to get 2 out. Oh, which reminds me, I forgot to make the Google Doc for the people who are subbed to me. Okay, there's all the ones. Oh, our things today were this. I'm gonna call him like a pumpkin scarecrow type deal. And then it was. What was the other one? It wasn't you. I can't remember what the other one was. Oh, this little box. I don't know, like a gift box, present box. I don't know. Treasure chest. Yeah, the box thing. I was like, what was it? What was it? And Kitty kept jumping on my desk, so she's knocked them like all over. So whatever kind of, organization I had went out the window because she kept jumping up and then running through them. Okay, see, that is not a Porygon. Okay, the top one. There we go. Let's see if I can change the name. Nope. Because you just put in the URL. I thought maybe I could like change the name. That way I would remember which one is which, but no such luck. Okay, let me minimize. And really, I shouldn't have minimized. I should pull this over, or else it'll get lost in the thing. gonna turn off the muted to music. Alright, maybe I should have just paused it, but too late now. Okay, well, I have a rift in time. But look at all the lounge fly. I have a rift in time. I don't believe I played it after, so sound should be fine. Yep. And I think, if I remember correctly, we got Mulan to level 10 right before we got off last time. Let me add Disney. Oh, helps if I can spell. Okay, sorry. I'll forget to add it if I don't do it right away. It is taking a long time to load. It says, play healthy. It is recommended that you take breaks from time to time during a long play session. Let's see. I don't... No mail. Let's see. Is there new things in the shop? So there's the villain royal tools. No, this is the same stuff as last time. And I still want this set. Oh, it refreshes tomorrow. I may have to spend real money. Really? Yeah, that was a long time for, I mean, it wasn't real, like, a long time in the grand scheme of things, but, like, compared to normal loading time. I may have to spend real money to get this. Sorry if you guys can hear the screaming in the background. It's not me, it's my neighbors. I thought maybe the dogs were being weird and that's why she was screaming, but who knows at this point. Okay, we need Remy and Elsa. Their gifts. Oh, hello, Jack. Okay. Oh. Sesame balls, Mediterranean salad, and shiny bumblestone. I think sesame balls are an appetizer. Yes. Hello, Devin. Thank you for the sub, Devin. How are you doing today? Hopefully your week is going well. I saw your thing in the Discord about now my brain farted. The Starry Night thing. There we go. I will get there eventually. I have the Lego one, but that one looked nice too. Okay, M. So So no, not in this one, or I don't have it, one of the two. Not in there either, so I don't know what makes a Mediterranean salad. Let's quick look it up. Doo-doo-doo. Mediterranean salad. Okay. Let's see. It says cucumber. Okay, hold this up. No, I think cucumbers is not rich. Cucumber, tomato, onion, lettuce, and an herb or spice. Let's do basil. Snickety sacky and hydrate. Okay. Ooh. 2 without even trying. Okay. The snickety snackety. And then the Bumblestone thingy. None of that. Okay. Sorry, I saw a text come in and I wanted to make sure that it wasn't a minion with, you know, weird half day. Who knows? Hey, mom, can I do this? You know, kind of a deal. No, I opened you already. So this, and this are else's. Dang it. Is this a small chest? Probably, and that's another small. Okay, and hydrate now. Okay, now we need Remy. Brick attacks. Okay, sauteed mushrooms, zucchini, and spinach. So let's get zucchini and spinach out. There's spinach. Split. and zucchini. Then I'll come out here to the stove. Okay, so now we're starting on a different part of the build. Need to go back and do another wedge and a wedge. So one sit like this, and then that piece. So we're not doing that right now, but I think it's gonna be. It doesn't. Maybe like part of the outside that it'll kind of sit on, like added to the surround here. You know, like click it on eventually. So I don't know, but that's what we're doing right now. Okay, sauteed mushrooms. I know I have this recipe because I just learned it not that long ago. But I have no butter. High today here is 85. Listen, I was accustomed to nice, warm, comfy sweater weather. I don't want to go back up in temperature.
And beyond.
Oh, how convenient. Elsa is here. So let's make sauteed mushrooms. Okay.
Hey, it's you!
Sauteed mushrooms.
Oh!
Zucchini. Yeah, about the same. So Thursday, Chick-fil-A is having some kind of, I don't know, fair thing.
Au revoir!
Toktoy skilled huntress on 4 pops. I do believe they mean Nala.
Hello.
I have something to give you. Sesame balls. Brambolin is loose in chat.
Oh. I hope we can talk again soon.
We need to do a Daisy boutique. Oh, we also need to feed a villager. Spicy macaroons.
Hi.
Oh, look at Eric. He's 2/3 of the way
Thank you.
to be in level 10. Oh, no one caught it. Rude. Craft 3 large elixirs. Mine for black stones. Okay.
This whole game is rigged.
6. It is rigged. Okay, let's do this one. And then we have 20 left. We can get some stage fireworks and some punk nails. Equip. We can't like zoom in though to show you, so you'll just have to take my word for it. There's 35 days left. Okay, let's do the Daisy Boutique.
Don't forget, I'm here
I
to help.
think I've kind of gotten the hang of the Daisy Boutiques. I can't promise I'm really like excellent at it, but I think I've kind of gotten an understanding. So, skirts, utilities, Cinderella, rustic, delicate, and lavish. I think some of those don't really go together, but we'll see.
What do you think those villains are really up?
So, lavish and delicate could both be wardrobe and furniture. And rustic. Oh, I see. Lavish and delicate has to be in. All three of these have to be in both. So, filters. Lavish, delicate. And which one's Cinderella? Okay. I wish they were in like alphabetical order, but they're not. Okay, Mickey. There we go. The shoe. Apply filters. Well, I can't have both. Let's try without Cinderella. What do we get? Let's go back and just do pants. Well, I wanted skirts. Okay, skirts. Okay, one can be skirts, but none of this is gonna go with that shirt. Let's try coat. There we go. Let's take off and shoes. So I think we've done all this is in theory supposed to be lavish and delicate, and we did skirt. Okay, so that is now so we've done lavish, delicate, rustic, and skirt. So let's set the filters just for Cinderella and see what we get. this. No. I can't take this coat off without getting rid of the filter. There we go. Now, there. But let's apply the Cinderella filter again. Go back. And do all. That's it. That is not a lot to work with. Well, that should work for Cinderella. Let's try different shoes. Yes, I saw. I was just trying to finish this outfit at least. Okay, there we go. Stream Raiders. Happy Buttons and Crazy joined the battle. There's 3 to 7, but I have a Necromancer out, so one can hope. I turned that chest into a warrior. Are we all confused? Kill the beast. Oh, it's a flying thing. Oh, but apparently I'm still taking it out. Whoop whoop. Okay, we're gonna keep going forward. Book talk. What am I currently reading? Oh, still the same book from the other day because I haven't really been reading it like I should. I'm pretty much like at the same place. A little. Oh, that's not what I. Well, I did do. Okay. Oh, now I need utilities. So first I have to get rid of this stuff. So okay, let's put rustic. Nothing. How about now get rid of the stick and just do Cinderella. Let's see if that meets all of her requirements.
Just who I wanted to see.
Woohoo! I completed it.
Rise and shine, everyone. Oh. Bye-bye.
For book talk. The only progression I really made is she was drunk and he, was trying to sober her up. And he thought he had sobered her up enough that she would at least remember what they were talking about. They kind of had a breakthrough with each other, and then she woke up the next day, or he woke up and he left her in bed. And when she came out, like hours later, she had no idea what they
There's
talked
a lot
about, which
this
is
valley that reminds me
it's
of
kind
home.
of sad because that kind of really like sets them back. But also, he thinks he may have a lead on who was after the app. And the Prez's old lady is gonna go in undercover to the prison where one of the other guy's mom is and see if she can confirm their suspicions. I really need to finish the book, but I worked on some crochet the last couple days. I made a pie the other day, and yesterday I made a burrito. Is that green and not black? No, they're both black. So now I need just 3 more, but where do I get black gemstones? No, onyx everywhere. Okay. So just mine. Don't mind at night. I still haven't looked up like the respawn rate of the black flowers, but I'm not going to stress too much about it because there's 35 days, so I have more than enough time to collect them. And I can't really talk about the book I read before that because it does not come out for like another 2 weeks. But on the line of, or in the kind of theme of book talk, I put a link in Discord today. Today is a Stuff Your E-Reader Day. It's like 850 plus free ebooks. All different kinds of categories. So, in theory, you should be able to find something you enjoy to read if you enjoy reading. Oh, I always buy the sand when it's here.
Yeah!
What's for lunch today, Crazy? I know you said your classroom was right on top of the dining hall.
Perhaps you just weren't meant to.
what else is in there that I can do as him? So I need to talk to Nala. I feel I should have fished. Taco Tuesday. I think I'm just gonna order pizza. Because I think I'm going to attempt to go to the parent-teacher conferences today after the appointments. Or at least attempt to get some of them done. It's a large elixirs. Okay, let me craft any large elixir. Okay, let's see what we need for large elixirs. I don't know what consists of a large elixir. Because there's whatever, like miracle fishing bait, and then even more magical fishing baits. Yeah, so I was just gonna order breadsticks and like one large bacon pizza, bacon and cheese. They will survive one night without pineapple on it. I'm gonna just double check this. Large elixir. Okay, here it's gonna tell me. Duty. Craft any large elixir. So the even more miraculous fishing bait, growth elixir, pickaxe, polish, shovel coating, a multiplayer cooking elixir. So for the even more fishing bait, I need 20 of these crystals. Okay. And we get them in the vitriol mines. Okay. Have fun at class. Hopefully it continues to go well.
Ha!
Okay, we need to catch just a few more perch. Okay, we need to eat.
Wow, there it is. Hi, folks. Well, that's it. That's my set.
So, I meet with my knee surgeon later today. That's my doctor's appointment. To see what they found on the MRI. I'll put it in Discord, whatever they say. And let you guys know what the plan is.
Everyone here is so nice.
I have no idea what the plan is currently.
Let me know where I can rustle up some grub.
That's a lie. Currently, the plan is to just go to the doctor. I don't really have a plan beyond that plan. Because I don't think I can really have a plan beyond that plan right now.
Thank you.
Let's see if that counted. It. Oh, we found one, and it did. Okay, let's go in the mine. And that. Looks like she got a little pep in her step. I also keep waiting for them to maybe add more to this mine. Because there are spots where it's like caved in, you know, and you reach the end and you're like, I feel like they could definitely put something there. You know what I mean? Like this room they wound up coming eventually. So I feel like there's lots of spaces they could do things like that. Let's see how many. We got 9. But we can come back in and do that. Not to mention, it wants us to make 3. I think we only need 1 more onyx.
Wonder what's for breakfast. I haven't seen a lot of grubs around.
Okay, let's go to the house,
So,
put some stuff
you're-
away, and then go find Mulan to do her level 10. Okay, let's go find Mulan. Not at the store, but it is earlier, so.
I'm really glad you're here.
Whoa now!
Everything
Turn
okay?
up the sun!
Okay.
Why always Mother Gothel?
What a pleasure.
What does she have on everybody?
These fools have no idea what magic could be controlled here.
Red Bromellate. I want to say it's up in... Yep, the Sunlit Plateau. Okay, and we can craft some fabric over here. And if not, there's 3 for sale at... Okay. Up here.
I guess everything the light touches is part of this.
These ones that kind of look hot pinkish. There's no thingy up here. I thought I'd put a crafting table in every area. Or made enough to put in every area. I'll have to craft one for up here. Okay, let's go to my house then.
good friends, good food, all this place.
To the fairy godmother. Oh, right there in front of my house. How convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that does it.
Goodbye.
Woo!
Please help the rest of the team, Nala, Maui, and Buzz Lightyear with their clues.
Okay.
Now, this is my kind of day.
Okay, so
Would you help me with something?
I will in just a second. First, I don't know what category it puts the crafting table in. There we go.
Hello? Hi. Huh? Goodbye. As usual.
Find Nala's
Lionesses
flag
do
by
all the work.
by fishing somewhere that sounds like salt, fish, and sand. I'm gonna guess Dazzle Beach.
It's time Ursula took matters into her own tentacles.
And I'm gonna guess that it's probably, maybe not somewhere there's usually a set of bubbles, and probably red. Try to get our last onyx while we're looking for a place to fish.
Oh, you poor unfortunate soul.
Maybe over here. I mean, somewhere that smells like salt, fish, and sand. I think this is the only place it could be, because I don't think there's sand anywhere else, so.
My best friend Ralph is a knucklehead, but I love him.
Must have already had that memory. Ooh, that's a different spot, and it's got a flag in it. Okay, Buzz was on the beach. Is he still on the beach? Well, Maui's on the beach, so either way. Let's run this way. I should have just talked to Buzz when I saw him.
Mulan sure seems happy.
Hello.
Makes me happy too.
Ooh. Up in
You're the real deal,
frozen.
kid.
Let's figure out where. Let's get in a conversation with Buzz.
Hello. Anything
And
to
I
report?
will do this battle. Wow! All the people! Unfortunately, this is our last battle. Whew. Let's collect our goodies. We don't have any talismans or rubies. Did the store's not reset yet? Okay, glad you're here. There is serious work to do. A sunny place with trees and bones. Sunlight plateau.
It's almost like we stepped inside Bonnie's imagination.
Let's see where Nala went. She was. She's all the way down there. Man, she moved fast.
Oh, hey there. It's thank you. Oh, maybe I'll take a nap today.
Somewhere with trees and bones. Oop, there it is. We probably need still. Oh, I thought we needed 3. It was 3 of this. We need 5. So never mind. We need 3 more of these. So we might as well hit these while we're standing here. Oop, 2 more. Okay, let's see. Oh, Buzz is just down here. Okay. I should have marked him though. Or else I'll forget where he is on the map.
Over here, a little help. Hello, anything to report? The number of friendly residents in this...
And his was an ice, so over here with the pickaxe. So let's look for a flag in ice. Also black flowers and mines. Part of Cinderella memory. Nope, a skitty escaped.
everyone here be so... Now, what's the word? Nice.
I'm so confused about this one. Find a way to combine the mini flag with the gathered ingredients. But what gathered ingredients? Oh. Okay, so just, I must have found it and didn't realize. That's not to do. Oh, I guess it is. Okay, let's try a stove. Silly me.
I guess everything the light touches is part of this
so
new
many
place.
possibilities for adventure here.
Hey, what took you... You're welcome.
Woo!
The mystical cave on Dazzle Beach.
Well, see you around.
You know, normal games it will let you just like walk off the edge and then die. This game's like, nope, sorry. Please don't get too close to the edge.
Well, look who it is. You've been so helpful.
I did that. We did not cheat. Mother God was just jealous that we didn't.
It's always great talking to you. Woo! You've been an amazing help. Thanks.
I'm pretty sure that drawings quest is glitched.
Mustn't stay in the sun, dear.
Okay. Let's mine a couple more things. And then we'll have to see who's on because I'm not normally on at this time. So I have no clue who is on to raid into.
As my inner voice likes to remind me, I come in peace.
So if you know, if anybody knows of somebody on right now who you think we could raid into or who you like, let me know. We can do that.
I can't run from my past forever.
Yes, no, that's not what I want. Here we go.
Ohana means family. Family means nobody is left behind or forgotten.
Good to see you.
Okay. Let me close some of these tabs. I think I might just raid into my star because I can do a raid and run and it's not a big deal. Okay, brick tax. Okay, so we did that step. Now we need this one, this one, and this one. So hold this way, put that on, then this, and then like this. Yeah, that looks correct. Okay, that was brick tax. Let's do stream ending. Raid my star. Ray and yeah. There we go. I'm always convinced I'm going to do it wrong. I know today was a bit wonky and early compared to normal. I will update everybody in Discord about my appointment later, what they say. Thank you to the Devonverse for subbing today, 2 months. And then for everybody who hanged out, who played, today was just kind of a whatever day. I have a feeling Thursday's going to be the same kind of like whatever. But thank you for hanging out. I'm just gonna do the raid